Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. Last night I was able to check out the Wrestlemania pay-per-view, number 1. I watched this basically out of protest. I have this on DVD as a part of my Wrestlemania box set, and I think it probably has as much dust on it than it does the day I bought it. I don't think I've ever sat down and watched the Wrestlemania pay-per-view since I was a tape trader back in the day and popped this sucker in thinking it was going to be a wrestling classic. What little did I know was this pay-per-view was bad. This basically has, 3 big moments to basically watch that you're going to remember. You got King Kong Bundy doing his squash win. You got Andre the Giant throwing the money into the crowd after he won the $15,000 body slam challenge. And then you got the moment when Mr. T, Hulk Hogan, and Jimmy Snuka get the win in the main event. Basically, that's about it. The only reason why I went and watched this is because I watched the WrestleMania Rewind on the WWE Network, basically the new show / documentary, I guess you could say, talking about WrestleMania, and I thought that basically you would know everything about WrestleMania. Everybody's seen all of these, every documentary that comes out about any wrestlers, they always highlight the WrestleMania matches. All the matches are always put on these best of sets, and basically WrestleMania has been kicked around in the dirt. There's that the Mania of Mania documentary, and I was like, what are they really going to teach us? But basically, when you sit down and you really treat WrestleMania and you talk about it for a half hour, you're going to squeeze some stuff out of it, and you're going to get some interviews that you've never really seen before. So I really liked it. It was hosted by Pat Summerall of NFL fame. He was the co-voice of NFL on Fox for years with John Madden as well as CBS. He was on the Madden NFL games, a very recognizable voice, added a lot of credibility to the WrestleMania name, and I thought it was really, really good. And basically, when I sat down and watched the pay-per-view last night, not so much. Like I said, there's the 3 big moments, that's about it. The show opens with Tito Santana wrestling against the Executioner. I really, really always was a Tito Santana fan growing up. One of my favorite guys, even when he was El Matador. The guy just really knew how to mat wrestle. I always relate him to as a lot of fans grew up. They watched Bret Hart win the championship, and they sort of started watching his matches closer and realizing that they didn't really like the Hulk Hogan sports entertainment sort of feel. They really liked wrestling, and that's what they wanted to watch, and that's what they wanted more of. Santana beat Executioner in a match that really didn't have a whole lot of meaning to it, but it was fun to see him run the ropes. The Executioner, I don't know who he is or who he was, but he had the first promo of WrestleMania. The show kicked off with Mean Gene singing the national anthem on the big old MSG sort of microphone that the Fink talked on, and it's not as bad as you think it would be. Mean Gene could sing, not great, but it wasn't tutti frutti. But I mean, like, as a way to kick off WrestleMania, I thought he did a good job. The fans were into it too. King Kong Bundy squashed Special Delivery Jones and was supposed to be like a 7-second match, but it feels more like a minute to me. I don't know if the timekeeper rang the bell too fast. Bundy wasn't fast enough out of the chute. The ref didn't count fast enough, but they celebrated it as it was a Guinness Book of World Record sort of thing. So Bundy beat Special Delivery Jones, and he was so happy before the match during his opening promo. So funny that he got squashed so fast. Match of the night, easily Ricky Steamboat. Ricky Steamboat could have wrestled a broomstick out there and have been a good match, but Ricky Steamboat wrestled Matt Bourne. Great wrestling match. Ricky won with a flying crossbody, rolling him up for the pin. And after the match, as the guys would win, they would walk down the aisle into the gorilla position, and that's right where Lord Alfred Hayes was standing, talking about the upcoming matches and basically trying to sell programs and everything on the pay-per-view feed. But it's funny because I don't think the wrestlers knew that he was going to be there, and the way they filmed this was a lot like a house show. The entrances didn't mean as much then. It was just basically like the match would end, winner would walk out, loser would walk behind him, and then the next guy would go out right away. And these guys sort of all look at Lord Alfred Hayes like, what the hell are you doing here? And one of the weirdest looks is Ricky Steamboat when he walks by. He sort of looks like he thought that Lord Alfred was there to do an interview with him, and Probably the producer or the guy shooting the camera told him to walk on, and he's looking at Lord Alfred Hayes like he has a problem with him, like maybe he didn't want to interview him or something like that. And then Matt Bourne walks by dumbfounded as well. He walks almost right into camera shot, like almost face to face with the camera, because he's so like, what are they doing here? but somebody needed to tell him what was going on out there. Next match of the night was honestly the worst match. David Sammartino going up against Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Bruno was there to be in his son's corner. Of course, big time WWF legend, WWE Hall of Famer and all that, but there was a point in the match where David got slammed down to the floor and Johnny Valiant picked him up and slammed him again. Bruno didn't like this, so he got in there and he started pushing and shoving, and next thing you know, all four guys were brawling around out there in the ring, and the ref threw out this match as a double disqualification with no winners. So, the fans were happy to see Bruno, a big-time legend there in MSG, so all was not lost. Next match of the night was Junkyard Dog going up against Greg the Hammer Valentine. I thought this was going to be a big-time brawl of the night. Everyone can remember the first Starrcade with Piper going up against Valentine in a dog collar match, and though it didn't really have that kind of a stipulation on it, this was just for the Intercontinental title. I really thought it was really, really, really good. Greg the Hammer Valentine, a big-time classic, legend. Held the Intercontinental title for so long, but, Junkyard Dog was the guy that really, really didn't need this title, but it really would have been a big-time exclamation point on his career. The only title he really ever won in the WWF was that fake King of the Ring sort of deal where I think he beat Harley Race, and he got to wear, the crown for just a little bit. Junkyard Dog won this by countout after actually losing the match. Valentine rolled him up for the 1, 2, 3. The Junkyard Dog, sort of was like in protest, like, hey, he had his feet on the ropes, and it shouldn't count. Tito Santana came out to make the save, telling the ref that Valentine had the feet on the ropes, and the match was finally restarted. Valentine just took the count out, though, and he was able to keep his title. Junkyard Dog got the win and celebrated as if he did win the big one. And the surprise of the night, Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik wrestled against the U.S. Express, a big, huge, really, really over babyface tag team. U.S. Express was the original home of the Hulk Hogan, the Real American theme. It was kind of weird that they would lose this match here, but tag team champions changed hands. Nikolai and the Iron Sheik got the win. Freddie Blassie was all like, we won the big one, yeah. Next match was one of the co-main events, Andre the Giant against Big John Studd. Neither of these guys liked each other in real life, we've come to know later on, so neither of them wanted to give. Big John Studd didn't want to lose to Andre. Andre didn't want to give Big John Studd anything. It was just a battle of who the best big guy in the WWF was, and Andre slammed Big John Studd. Of course, he grabbed the duffel bag full of money. If you were a wrestling fan back in the day, you've seen this duffel bag 1,000 times in the WWF merchandise bag or catalog as something that you wanted to get. Andre took 2 swipes of the money, started throwing it out to the crowd, giving it back. They treat $15,000 like it's $1 million these days. But Bobby Heenan runs up, grabs the money, and hightails it out of there. And Andre reaches out of the ring and grabs Big John Studd by the hair, and it looks like he's really about to pull him back into the ring by his hair. Finally lets go, and they hightail it out of there. I'm sure they had words about that in the back. Wendy Richter and Cyndi Lauper, they beat Leilani Kai for the women's championship. Nothing really big here except Cyndi Lauper was out there, and they treated her like she was the biggest celebrity in the world. I guess she was big on MTV at the time, but it's kind of funny to look back now. I don't even know if they've ever put Cyndi Lauper in the Hall of Fame, but they always treat her like she, is worth $1 million. Hulk Hogan and Mr. T, with Jimmy Snuka in the corner, they wrestled against Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff. Everybody in this ring had heat. Everybody hated each other. Hulkamania just wanted to run wild. Of course, everybody knows the spot where Bob Orton climbs up to the top to hit, I think it's Mr. T with the cast, and T moves out of the way. They knock out Orndorff, and they roll him up, and they get the big pin. Snuka goes off the top. It's kind of funny how Snuka and Cowboy Bob are involved in this match, but they didn't even get a match. I know Bob Orton wore that cast for years. I don't think he was injured. I don't think Snuka was injured. It's just kind of funny that they didn't let him wrestle, seeing how they were the biggest stars of the company at the time, pretty much. Hogan and T got the win. It's not really all that unexpected that they did. They would go on to have WrestleManias till today. And, it's kind of funny how big this has grown. You look out at the crowd of 19,000 people out there, and it's definitely not what it is today. But that was WrestleMania. Not great. Hopefully you don't have to sit through it, and peace out.